Hello, you beautiful music creatives, and welcome back to Music Talks, in which we feature a musician guidance member and musician guidance artist, Jim Sinur. Jim, it's a pleasure to chat again. How is life treating you?
I can't complain, Mac. I'm on the green side of the grass, and at my age, that's what I'm hoping for. So
Right.
things are going good. We're working, making more music, selling music we have. So we're having a lot of fun at it.
Amazing. I love to hear that. And I've been very fortunate to learn a little bit about your story, and your path that led you to music. And it's one that I think could motivate, a ton of people because it's so unique and it's so inspiring. So for those that haven't heard it yet, can you share with us your unique story as to how you got into music?
Yeah, it's kind of an odd entry into the music area. I started off as kind of an IT accountant type, graduated from college, self-paid, grew up in an inner city in Milwaukee, so didn't have a lot of resources.
Right.
So I went for the money instead of the arts, and had a really great career in IT and digital. And things were going really, really well. I had no complaints, and all of a sudden, something got my attention. I almost died.
Mm.
So I flew all over the world. I had about 6 million miles on my body at that time.
Wow.
And I ended up getting a blood clot in my leg that transferred to my heart and lungs. And I was in a coma for 17 days and medically induced, but I came out. And, part of that, I had a conversation with another being. I have no idea whether I was just enjoying the drugs or, was it God?
Right.
Where I said, hey, these are things I wanted to do. And, I wanted to get back to the arts and I wanted to give to music because music's been a good part of my life. It's helped me through a lot of things.
Mhm.
So I came through, and the warning was when I came back is, you're going to go through some tough things. And I said to whoever it was, I said, if I don't come back, is this can I keep these bad things from happening? No, they're going to happen. It's a question of where you experience them or not.
Right.
So down the road, my oldest son, who worked for Disney at the time, passed away with brain aneurysm. He was just releasing Big Hero 6, and he was part of the management team, worked on Frozen, worked on
Wow.
Wreck-It Ralph, and, his career was budding and he was gone.
That's so sad.
Then,
I'm so sorry to hear of that.
well, you know what? It made me double down, frankly. And then I lost a daughter to the opioid issue. She had injured herself playing soccer, and she took a pill from a friend instead of a doctor, and it was laced and with fentanyl. So she passed. I lost my mom and dad. I'm going like, well, you could sit here and feel sorry for yourself, or you could do something. So I threw
Right.
myself into art. So I started doing sketching, painting, pastels, and fractals, which I'm famous for. You'll see some of them behind me up on the wall. I even have a shirt that has a fractal
I
on it.
like it.
So, I threw myself into art and I got some recognition. And I decided I wanted to pursue some music because my oldest son was really a great singer, and my youngest daughter was really a great singer. And I decided to follow in their footsteps and try to complete what they had done. And I created an album and dedicated it to them.
That's amazing. I find it so inspiring how you used your life experiences to motivate you because sitting here as an outsider, you had every reason to kind of, give up and, you know, go into potential, depression or something like that, but you really used it to motivate you. And I think that's, very inspiring. And being able to get into the arts, later on is not exactly easy. Sure, anyone can kind of, pick up a guitar and start making music, but you have achieved some, pretty, remarkable awards for your art in your 60s and you started writing lyrics for your songs, in your 70s. And also I know your work has been featured in some pretty remarkable places. Would you mind touching on, I guess, exactly what you've achieved thus far with your music and
Yeah, I
where
can
your
I
art?
can talk a little bit more about the art than I can about the music because the music's fairly new.
Right.
But I've had art pieces in the Louvre. I've had twice I've had art pieces in Times Square. Three times I've had art in the Miami Scope, which is part of the Basel organization. I haven't hit Basel, Switzerland yet. That would be a home run. And then also in the World Trade Center. So my art has been featured in those locations. I feel very fortunate. I won a local art kind of award for Glendale,
Okay.
and also Conception Arts is, which is like a roaming art show. Came to Phoenix, and I ended up, winning the number one artist one year, and
Congratulations.
it was fun. It's just great stuff, and I wanted kind of a guitar out of it, and going like, maybe that's a sign from above. I should pick up guitar. So I did. I started playing guitar and writing lyrics. Unfortunately, my guitar instructor ended up getting cancer and passing away. I guess it's
Oh
not good
no.
to be around me, I guess. But he taught me enough. And I said, look, at 70, I could sit there and spend 15 years becoming a virtuoso, or I could start with the lyrics. And I'm really a decent writer. I've got a
Right.
blog that's had 850,000 hits in the last 10 years, and people seem to like my style of writing. So I started writing songs, and I wanted to dedicate an album to my kids. And so I went ahead and just did it. I had to kind of beg, borrow, and steal to find people that would work with me, local musicians. And I finally found one that had a good heart. He was a teacher. He became my co-producer, Ethan Fox.
Okay.
I write the lyrics, and I come up with the storylines and the ideas and the mood for the song. He takes it and puts it into music, and then we kind of mishmash the words with the timing of the music he comes up with, and then we
Right.
change the lyrics, and out comes songs, and people seem to like them. So,
They like them because they're good, Jim.
well, I can't say that. That's not fair, but yeah, I'm glad you say it. Thank you.
No worries. And what I've noticed about you, even in this conversation, but also talking, to you before, you're not just creating music to get it out there. You're creating it with a vision and with a message. I know you have a vision of becoming an emotional healer through both your music and also your art, with your intentions being to encourage people to feel better. And it's clear to me that with the music you've already released, you're being extremely vulnerable by sharing your life experiences and also in this podcast, what you've already shared with us. Can you, share a little more about your unique storytelling approach to music and why it's important to you to be known as an emotional healer?
Yeah, I think people have to deal with a lot of issues. They may not say it, but underneath the surface, we're all kind of fighting to
Sure.
survive and thrive,
Yep.
and even capitalize under a lot of pressure. I mean, I was the smallest kid in my class and I skipped two grades. And so I got bullied. So I lived
Mhm.
through bullying. So I know what that's like. I lived in the inner city. I knew what it took to survive. Yeah, I got my lunch money stolen every once in a while, but I didn't die.
Right.
I hired Clyde to be my bodyguard. I did his homework because I was a smart kid and he was the
I hear
biggest
you,
kid in
buddy.
class, and that
Okay.
kind of worked out.
Right.
Thank you, Clyde. So, so you find ways to make things happen, and that's what it's about. And everybody's carrying emotional issues. I mean, let's take the plus side of it, lust and love. A lot of songs about that. And that's great to have that, come gushing out of you. But
Mhm.
there are people that are living with, they need a little encouragement. They need somebody to tap them on the shoulder. They need to know that somebody else is going through the same kinds of issues. And I
Right.
think that's why I went through the issues that I did, is, that I could help others, get through that. And so, on my first album, the first song is called Love and Acceptance, because we go through life searching for love and acceptance. And I knew I hit on something because I let a couple people listen to it. They started crying. They're going
Right.
like, it's kind of like my story. It's like, whoa. It's going like, well, there's something to this emotional healing, and I'd like to pursue it.
Absolutely. And Love and Acceptance was a song that kind of is, I think, one of my favorites on the album, and because it really connected with me too. And I love that you're walking the walk. You know what I mean? A lot of people can talk the talk. You have experienced this, and now you are, walking the walk to really try and help people out. And I love that. And I think that's so important nowadays, and especially kind of with the emergence of artificial intelligence, where we're kind of, the music industry is going through a shift with AI being able to, create songs, kind of combine two artists and put something out there. But what they don't have is what you have, that emotion, that passion, and that message of wanting to really make a difference. So, I really resonate and agree with what you're doing, and I think it's so needed in today's music industry too.
Yeah, AI doesn't have heart. By the way, when I was
Mhm.
in digital, I implemented several AI systems in some
Right.
of the early versions when I was at an insurance company
Oh well.
and an American Express. And it's all logic and it's all capturing data and spinning off of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the emotional aspects at all. Now it may grow those, but
Sure.
coming from the heart and experience is where I come from.
Exactly. I like that. Yeah, love that. And so kind of building off, yourself wanting to be this emotional healer. I know that one of your signature items is an ebony walking stick. What is the symbolism behind that?
Well, there's a couple of there's the physical world that I live in. I live in the desert
Okay.
and I like to hike.
Right.
And one of the things that's always good on a hike is a walking stick.
Sure.
And it's not because it holds you up. It may help you, go up a hill. But practically, we have things called sidewinders here, which are poisonous stakes that go sideways. So you could be going down a trail, and all of a sudden the sidewinder will come.
Oh no.
And if it hits the the walking stick first, you're okay. Otherwise, you're not. So it came from the practical reason, and then it became symbolic. And it's symbolic to me in that ebony means that it's kind of dark black. It means it's been through the fire.
Right.
And I've been through the fire of life. And everybody has something that supports them. Some people call it baggage. I'd rather call it support. All your experiences, negative and positive, help you support you, whether it's life, a broken heart, some physical ailment that you've gotten through, a tough time at work, a bad relationship,
Hmm.
you know, in my case, losing a couple of kids, which nobody wants to do. All of those things became a support to me. So I like the idea of an ebony walking stick because it kind of symbolizes, what supports me. And I'm hopefully I have some wisdom in my lyrics that people can latch on to.
Absolutely. And do you have a one of those walking sticks yourself?
I have the old walking stick that I
Okay.
still use, but I ordered a new one because I
Oh,
want it to be kind of artistic, us artsy.
right.
Ordered an ebony stick, and I'm going to put some silver lightning on it because it's burnt and cracked. So it's
Okay.
like a fractal. They put electricity on one end and created some
Right.
cracks.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I bought a fractal emblem that I'm going to put on the top end of it. But I'm waiting for Etsy to deliver it. So
Come on,
um,
Etsy.
I wish I could show you, but I gotta keep other artists going too. I mean,
Right.
part of my music keeps local musicians going. My engineer is extremely gifted, and he's in a number of groups and been in a number of groups, and Jimmy Catterine. And Ethan Fox is in a number of groups, and they're both in one and called Imaginal Cells. If you like prog rock and you like adventure and
Mhm.
you like to have somebody take you through, close your eyes, whether you need substances or not, and listen to the music, it'll take you away.
Absolutely. And while you're talking about your team there, let's kind of switch gears to talking about, your album, Amazing Journey, right? You've got some amazing feedback on this album. And it's, no wonder why, as I mentioned a couple minutes earlier, I listened to it and I think Love and Acceptance was one of my personal favorites, but there are, so many great tracks on it. Can you share what you wanted this album to accomplish in terms of, helping others?
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's kind of on a journey.
Absolutely.
And everybody's journey is amazing in different ways. So I took one perspective, which was, a young male through life. And I kind of paralleled it after kind of my life in a way. But everybody's on this amazing journey.
Mhm.
And sometimes we don't stop to think about it. One of the songs on there, which is the longest song, it's called Nobody Knows Me. It's a very dark song. And it's about somebody that's sitting behind a computer screen or in their bedroom and nobody knows them. They really have something to offer the world, and they're in this dark hole and they're trying to get out, and love comes in and rescues them. And I've had several people comment on how that song kind of reflected what happened in their life. They went through a terrible mental set of events. And this song, when they hear the song, they go, well, that's me. And I'm going
Yeah.
like, wow, that's cool. So I've gotten feedback on each and every song. Next Time I See You is about, meeting your loved ones after, after death. And that one has, great violins in it as you listen to it. I'm sure that took you away. Um, and everybody misses somebody.
Right.
Everybody falls in lust. Siren Song is about that. Everybody falls in love. Perfect Love is about that. Everybody wants to escape their situations. Um, and so I wrote a road song that talks about, escaping, which is called Coming Up Sevens. You think you're lucky, you think you can run away. And that has kind of a surprise ending to it. You think you run away, but do you? So you have to listen to it. But I have some people that are in my circle that are pretty successful people. I don't know if you ever heard of a band called Badlands with Jakey Lee, who used to play lead for Ozzy.
Oh, wow.
Uh, the bass player, Greg Chason, who's the manager of Bizarre Guitar here in the Valley. Here's what he had to say. I'm going to read this because I don't want to mess up his words.
Sure.
He's
Sure.
bigger, he's stronger. I don't want to mess with the guy.
Right. Smart
He
man.
goes, he goes, Siner's amazing journey is an eclectic mix of many musical styles. The songs take you on a crafted emotional journey, top-notch musicianship along with heartfelt vocals and lyrics make this an enjoyable project indeed. And he's very fussy. He's in a new band called Atomic Kings. That is, it's a real, and they just came up with an album, and it's awesome. It really kicks. Then I have another quote from Ryan McKay, who was the front man for Crash Street Kids. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but um, he says Siner's Amazing Journey is a wonderful textured album that leans towards British pop and psychedelia. Ethan Fox's musical instrumentation and production is warm, captivating, and is a perfect complement to Jim Siner's Brian Ferry-esque croon. Well, I didn't know I was as good as Brian, but thank you. Uh, Siner's lyrics radiate positivity and warmth. It's a perfect sink in the couch music. So I'm going like, these are heroes of
Right.
mine that are saying good things. So there must be something there, I think.
Of course. And that, so how does that feel? When these heroes are complimenting your music like this, and not only complimenting it in the sense saying it's good, but going one step further and saying, talking about the emotional journey it brings them through, which is your goal, right? Your kind of
Yeah.
goal with music.
Yeah.
So how does that feel when you get those amazing
Well,
words?
it feels really good. It feels like I'm getting closer to my goal.
Right.
And telling the story that we all need help. We all
Mhm.
need encouragement. We all need healing. We all need, somebody taking us around, the nape of the neck and saying, "Hey, you're great." Everybody needs a pat on the back. Everybody needs to feel good. And I used to
Sure.
use music to make me feel good from when I was little. I mean,
Yeah.
I can think of certain songs and I can think of fond memories from those times. And I think everybody does. So I just feel like, everybody's on that journey and they need a little help, a little pickup, even if it's, screaming down the road, you know, and trying to get away, like any world warrior song would be. Or you're falling in love with who you think the perfect person is. When you find out later they're not, but you make it work.
Right. No, absolutely, and especially with, um I mean, I wanna keep the mood light, but especially with everything, that's going on in the world right now, a simple pat on the back, a simple, compliment can do all the it can make all the difference right now, so I totally, agree with you, and I'm happy to hear as well that your music is getting, the reception that you, hoped it would and worked hard to achieve ultimately.
And we're working on the next release. And it turns out Amazing Journey was pretty successful.
Right.
We sold out of all of these CDs, which I got the chance to do my art on. Fractal on the back, nice painting on the front.
Amazing.
Working on that next album. We're all excited. And, I'll sell merch. Excuse the commercial here.
Nice plug.
We'll sell merch and push the first album, but we're putting together the second album, which I think is closer to what I really want, and that is helping people deal with certain things. So the first album to me is a success because I've never done an album.
Right.
It's out. People like it. People are responding. We're selling CDs. We're selling merch. It's getting listens
Mhm.
without me even trying to push it really hard marketing wise. I haven't
Right.
gone out and done all of the list stuff yet. I will,
Right.
but
You better,
typically,
Jim. I'm gonna hold you accountable for that on this next one, okay?
well, yeah, I'll be doing them both. I'm learning on the first one so I can do a better job on the second one. I
I
mean,
like it. Right.
to be honest. I mean, if you think about it, how many people that are successful do it the first time with the first album? It's pretty rare.
Almost zero. Yeah.
Pretty rare. So I'm hoping somebody will go back and look. Someday I'm going to have a song that people are going to really like and it'll become popular. And then they'll reach back and look at other things. That's what
Right.
I'm hoping for.
Okay.
So, so can I plug the next album?
Well, let's do that. So yeah, let's so
Well,
I definitely, plug it, but also like talk I'd love to hear more about I guess the inspiration behind it, how it's different from the last, and
mhm.
kind of, all of that stuff.
So the next album is called Ready or Not. I
Okay.
mean, if you take a look at world events, you don't know what's going to happen next. I mean,
Right.
the world I grew up in, it was pretty steady Eddie. You could project what your life was going to be. You could project what business was about. Now we got wars and rumors of wars. People are, we got volcanoes, we've got hurricanes, we got people are hurting.
Hmm.
So this is about not so much how to deal with those, other than how to deal with yourself. So it's got songs on it. And one of them you kind of hinted at, you didn't even know it. It's called Walking the Talk.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's called Walking the Talk. But we were working on one last night. It's called Thankful Now. There's another one that's a reggae song. It's called So Humble. Another one that's going to be blues called Making Mercy. Mercy me. Imagine that. Another one's called Judge Not. Another one's called Kinder. Another one's called Just Send Love. So these are the kinds of things that I would like to be able to do better. I mean, my time on the blue planet is limited. So I want to do the right things with people. When somebody cuts me off, instead of giving them one fingered signal, I want to smile and wave.
Or
I
make
want to
it
be
this finger.
That's what my son does. The
Okay.
one in Boston, and he's in Boston. There's some interesting drivers in Boston. Let's put it that way.
I can imagine.
They have paved cow paths they have for streets, so they try to make it happen. So this is about the kinds of things that would make me better, and I think would make others better. Um, and then of course I have some political overtones to it, as one would guess. There's a song called Crying for Creation. Talks about how we're not really treating creation very well. We've been kind of taken and not
Right.
really dealing with it. And it's going to be a female singer that's going to be crying like Mother Nature. Um,
Nice.
kind of like an Evanescence sound. I don't know if
Right.
you've, I love Evanescence. I got to see her live recently with Muse. It was awesome.
Amazing.
Um, and then another one is you can't really do it alone. You have to have community. So there's another song called Community.
Right.
And then the last song gives us some hope. It's called Restoration.
Okay.
How things are going to get restored. You know, is it the aliens? Is it us? Is it God coming in, wiping us out and starting over? What, you know, what is the restoration? How does that work? So there's some really interesting songs on this. I'm hoping people get, and again, it's a mixture. We've got a little bit of synthesizer music, a little bit of blues, a little bit of reggae. We even have a metal one, which I thought was perfect for this one's called Judge Not.
Okay.
Harsh, metal, smack them in the face. Don't judge. Come on, you know?
I like it. Sounds like there's going to be, a song for everyone on this album.
That's the idea. I don't think I'm going to be making a ton of money, but I want to have an effect.
Mhm.
And that means I don't have to stick with one style.
Right.
So I'm going to take advantage of that. And I've got guys that are on my team. The bass player's in Branson, Missouri. He's in a cover band for Elton John. He's the star. I have another one that in Alaska, Eric, who's my keyboardist. I have, a number of these guys have come from Hawaii, so they've won a number of awards in Hawaii.
Okay.
And so, if I want some Hawaiian influence in there, I can. And two of them were nominated for Grammys for inventing a new genre of music called
Wow.
environ metal. So it's about environmental and it's all metal. So
That's
you can see there's going to be some metal in there. There's going to be some environmental. There's going to be some love songs. There's going to be some. One of them is, we kind of seek treasures on this earth and we kind of run over each other looking for treasure.
right.
Um, there's a song called Spiritual Treasure. It says, hey, look for the right spirits. Look for, and we have a Native American on the album. He looked at that and he says, oh, that's really cool. You know,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
they're in general, you find them looking for spirits, in earthly things, but they're looking for spiritual treasure as well. So I'm real excited about this album. I can't wait. We've got 4 songs in engineering. Jimmy Cat is working on that right now and telling us everything we need to fix.
It's
And of
good though.
course,
It's good. It's good he does that.
yeah, and he's also the lead player, so
Okay.
he can fix some things. And there's only so much you can comp. But, he's taking things through, and we've got electronics now. You don't have to get it perfect, so
Right.
you can do some things, but we're not going to do auto tune. So we're going to try to have some really great engineering, some great composition, some great musicians, people that you know I'm really proud to work with.
Right.
And
Well,
I'm lucky enough to live through great music of, I hate to admit this, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 210, 220. I love some of the new groups like Killer, and
mhm.
the Killers are great. Paramore, so we're going to have all different kinds of sounds. And I've been lucky to see some of the best music that has been made to date.
Well, let me touch on that a bit then. So you've experienced, tons of music, tons of, decades of music. Where did you take inspiration from? Was there a main, was it the 50s, the 60s? Was it certain bands? Was it genres? Where did your inspiration kind of come
It's
from?
it's writers.
Okay.
I love Petty. I love Tom Petty's writing capability. I mean, one of my favorite songs ever is Louisiana Rain by Tom Petty,
Right.
because you're out walking with your shoes in the rain. The whole world's pouring down on you, and you literally, he paints a picture like that.
Yeah.
Um, it- I love Journey because they have a lot of great storytelling, You know, I mean, everybody makes fun of "Don't Stop Believing" because it's probably one of the most popular songs ever.
Sure.
But first time I heard it, I mean, it gave me goosebumps. So I'm a big Journey fan. I love Bob Dylan. I love his writing. I mean, to be as popular as he is with his voice, gives me a half a chance, you know?
You always look on the bright side, and I love it.
So, I like his, I mean, the Beatles wrote great stuff. The Stones wrote great stuff. The Who wrote great stuff. The Killers write great stuff. Imagine Dragons writes great stuff. I mean, I'm in there for the REM. I mean, I love the way REM does things. They write the lyrics first. They didn't even know how to play instruments when they started.
Right.
It's like, wow. I mean, dream come true. You know, the word lives and the music supports it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of come from that bias. Sorry. I mean, I like to shake my tail feather like anybody else, but it's about the meaning of the words. I mean, I got one album recently. The music was spectacular, and I couldn't understand the words, so I went and ordered the CD. I kind of did it old school.
Okay.
Um, I looked at the lyrics. I'm going like, oh boy, those are not really healthy, wholesome lyrics.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think that one's going to end up on the shelf. But the music,
Okay.
spectacular. It
Yeah.
was orchestra. It was orchestra and metal combined.
Okay.
It was gorgeous.
Interesting. Wow.
But
Yeah.
just like, I mean, Stradivarius does that too over in Europe. It's orchestral metal, and I
Right.
love it. And this was the even better version of the music. But I can live with Stradivarius's words. I could not live with this other. I won't mention
I love the honesty.
them.
Um, I,
So,
I like that you're kind of been a student of the industry in a sense. I see some artists nowadays that don't really take the time to learn about the greats before them. You've obviously, put in done your due diligence and kind of, learning from the greats and incorporating, it sounds like, kind of styles, or at least using them as inspiration for yourself to, put out the album that you have in the past, and for this new one upcoming. And I want to touch on this, new upcoming album you have. I don't want to like put you on the spot here. Is there a time though? You've done a
oh yeah.
great job at kind of teasing it. So I'm just curious, is there, do you have
Well,
a, is there a, release date in mind kind of for it?
yeah, I'm trying to be realistic. If I beat this date, then everybody's happy. If I
Okay.
don't, I'm in trouble. So first quarter 2024,
Okay.
and there will be tunes that we will pre-release
Right.
because you don't have to have a whole album now. You can pick a couple
Absolutely.
of great songs, put them out on streaming, and see how people react to them. And we've got some leaders. We got four that are leading.
Okay.
Walk and Talk is one of them. And
I'm gonna
so
take partial credit for that one because I kind of, foreshadowed the name there.
you did. It's like you were psychic. Um, and so we'll definitely do that. We'll start working on the merch. I mean, I've already painted the album cover, and I know what the album back looks like.
Okay.
So
Nice,
so
nice.
and what, and the starts off with a song in the beginning. It says, "Are you ready for me?" And it talks about a great teacher who's teaching all of these great kinds of
Okay.
concepts, like kinder. Are you really ready?
Right.
Are you ready? Or, are you just BSing, you know?
Right.
And so it's kind of, it's like a political rebel song. I gotta have one of those too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we're shooting for first quarter of 2024.
Okay.
We'll put out CDs. My co-producer, Ethan Fox, says, I want vinyl. And,
Yeah.
I may have to invest in some vinyl. I mean, it's coming back. Thank God.
Sounds the best.
I think it does, but
Yeah.
except the records that I wore out. by playing them over and over and
Oh,
over
yes,
and
all right.
over and over, like
Right.
Disraeli gears from Cream. I mean, there's nothing left of the poor vinyl anymore.
That's too funny. I guess
Yeah,
that's maybe one thing, Spotify has, but no, vinyl sounds the best. And
yeah,
I think that's proven. I think I think that's yeah. So yeah, that's great. I mean, I still got a record player, so I'll get a vinyl from you.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll count on you. You'll be my first order. Thank you.
Amazing. It's gonna be my pleasure.
Okay, great. Well,
That's
this has been great. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. We've
likewise.
talked over the phone, but seeing you live, going eye to eye,
Right.
it's really good. Thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. I appreciate, you hopping on the podcast and being so vulnerable. I think it really made for an amazing episode. And I look forward to, working with you, and watching you grow in your music career. I'll have links below to your music, to your social pages, your website, your blog, all of that. In the meantime, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Um, no, it's just that, I love music and I love the people that love music. Hopefully I can entertain, some of you folks.
I think you definitely have, Jim. You're a funny guy. I love how you look at the good of everything. I've really enjoyed this episode, and I'm sure those listening in will too. And for those listening in, let Jim be an inspiration that you can and you will achieve your dreams. So while your journey, might be frustrating, right, and anything but a straight path, just know it is all part of your unique journey and your unique process. So until next time, take care and keep making music.